This is our first time recording this, and who knows how it's going to sound. I won't until we edit it. But hello! Welcome to Not Even Once. My name is Bob.
And I am Seth. Welcome in. We invite you to join us as we explore this wonderful world of Once Upon a Time for the first time for me.
And the second time mostly for me. I remember I watched the show when it was airing, like probably until around like season 5-ish, and then I fell off, not for like any reason, but just I think life happened, and I was like, I need to stop having a million shows to watch.
Fair. Did you not ever like watch reruns of it, or was it just you caught it when it was on kind of thing?
I would watch it when it was on, and like for a while it was like appointment viewing, especially once like Hulu was a thing, because like they would post it up on Hulu all the time. So it was like easy to binge, because it was airing when I was in college, like during when I was in college, and then I think I kind of fell off after I graduated.
So that's how you caught it on Hulu mostly, rather than catching it as it aired on live TV.
Yeah, pretty sure. It was, I would watch it at my parents' because they have TV. I'm a millennial. I do not need cable.
No.
We're on this podcast that you're listening to. Thank you very much, by the way.
Thank you.
We are going to be, like Seth said, recapping Once Upon a Time. An interesting show at times. It can be very good, and then it can be a different show, I feel. You know, in the time that I've watched it, I've really enjoyed it, and it's fun to tell people things that happen down the line of characters that meet other characters, and who is this character, and I'm being very vague because, like Seth said, he has not seen this show.
Not even once.
You did it. It was good. It was
we got
good.
him, boys.
It was really good. But yeah, no, it is a show, and I am very excited to revisit, because like, the first season like slaps. The first season is really, really good. Same with the second season, and then kind of after that, they start doing a different thing, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. I don't think we need to get too far ahead of ourselves. But I have done some research. Every episode, I'm going to bring some fun trivia, all that stuff about the production of the show, some of the actors, because believe it or not, this show that aired in 2011 has a lot of people that became very big stars, like right after or during the show was running. So there's some interesting stuff to go into about that.
Yeah, you have mentioned that while we were talking about doing this podcast in the first place, and I straight up have not even looked at who was in it, because I am trying to remain as removed from knowing anything about who plays what characters might show up later, or if they replace an actor at some point or something. Just remaining as spoiler-free as possible, because I haven't seen it. It's not like I was actively avoiding it. I didn't have TV, so like I don't need TV. I didn't watch anything. I just never saw it.
Yeah, no, it's I'm very excited. So we're going to do some trivia, and then I'm going to show Seth off mic the trailer to the first season, and then we'll be back and we will go into some things that Seth might think is going to happen this season. So anyway, let's get started with the trivia. So yes. The show started on October 23rd, 2011, and it ran for 7 seasons. And the show, it is on network TV. It was on ABC. So they are long seasons. They're about 22 episodes for each one. So we'll be here for a while.
Plenty of content.
Oh, you do not even know. So the show was created by Adam Horowitz and Edward Kitsis, who are most well known for their work writing on Lost and Tron Legacy as well. So they had some familiarity with Disney properties.
They had familiarity with stories that start out great and fizzle.
I mean, I haven't seen Lost, so I did watch a 3-hour video that a YouTuber named Billiam put up about the first season of Lost, and I thought it was fascinating, and I watched it because we were doing the show.
I have watched other videos of his. I have not watched Lost. Shout out to Billiam.
I'm very much like, if we finish Once Upon a Time, what other shows could there be? That's
Pokemon.
on the list. Yeah, the entire original.
Yes.
Yeah. So they actually, Adam Horowitz and Edward Kitsis actually conceived the idea for Once Upon a Time in 2004 before they even joined the Lost writing staff. And I've read a lot of interviews with them where they credit their time on Lost for kind of giving them the idea for like the flashback formula. It's very similar to Lost in that way. Like, I would say, I mean, granted, I have not finished the entire show. My understanding is that they do the same kind of puzzle box writing that J.J. Abrams is kind of like known for. He did a TED Talk about it. It is, it like flashes back and forward. I don't want to spoil the main conceit of the show until you start watching it, but there's very much a reason for it, just like there was in Lost. Like, there is before and after, and the stories kind of play in synchronicity with each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they worked on Lost, like, you know, a bunch of TV producers like to do. They put little references to Lost throughout the show, like the numbers that are like a big thing in Lost show up, like not like as a cryptic thing, but just like as like, oh, this person lives at, you know, 14 whatever street.
I see. I was getting worried.
Oh, no, this is, it's like, there's like, you know, the same candy bars, like stuff like that. I think there's like some like TV shows that'll be on in the background that like are shared between the shows, but like that's about it. It's basically more nods to the production rather than like we're also in the same universe as this big plane crash that may be purgatory. I don't know. I've only heard about this show.
Yeah, I also did not see Lost. I only know the collective pop culture, everything about it. Same as very Game of Thrones. Like, I saw a couple episodes out of order. I read the books, but like when it got to the end, I was just having popcorn watching the public reaction.
When it got to the water bottle sitting on the the table at the Grand
Starbucks
Feast.
cup.
It was a Starbucks cup. Yes. Oh my god. So anyway, the creators wanted to start with the ending of Snow White. Like, that's not a spoiler. It's literally the first thing in the first episode of the show. Because, like, in their words, that's ground zero for fairy tales. It's the first Disney movie that was made. It's the first animated fairy tale movie. Everyone knows Snow White. Everyone knows that story. You don't need to, like, rehash the beginning. So they specifically wanted to start with Snow White because of that. In my research, I did find out that Once Upon a Time is actually not the first show that ABC has had with Snow White and Prince Charming coming to a modern world. They were previously seen, not the same characters, same Snow White, Prince Charming, but not, you know, from Once Upon a Time. They were previously seen on the ABC television show in the short-lived 1980s comedy, The Charmings. It was a sitcom where Snow White and Prince Charming get sucked into 80s America and Reaganomics, I guess. And I think in my research, the evil queen was like their neighbor or like the mother-in-law or something, which she is in the fairy tale.
Oh, it was Agatha all along.
Yeah, it was Agatha. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I might look up at the cast and be like, oh my God, it was like this amazing actress. I would almost put money down that the actress who played the evil queen on the Charmings sitcom was nowhere near as good as Kathryn Hahn.
I'd believe that.
So fans have pointed out the similarities between Once Upon a Time and the comic series Fables, which has a very similar premise to the show, to which, interestingly, ABC bought the rights to the comic series for TV in 2008, but the show never made it past planning phases. And after Fables fans raised controversy over like possible appropriation of the plot, the show writers initially denied the link, but later on they said that they may have, quote, read a couple issues.
Oh boy. I have, probably still sitting at my parents' place, about 15 volumes of the books of Fables.
I've heard it's great.
It is.
I've never read it, but I've heard it's like...
Read it if you can. Play the Telltale games Wolf Within.
That's right. I always forget. And that was like the first Telltale game, right?
Yes.
But anyway, Bill Willingham, the author of Fables, responded to the controversy in an interview where he stated he didn't feel like the show was plagiarism and said maybe they did remember reading Fables back then, but didn't want to mention it because we become a very litigious people. Which, I don't know. Whatever. I haven't read the comics, so I don't feel like I really have too much room to say anything about the author.
Well, I'll probably be basing some of my shots, my calls, on things that happen in Fables. So when we get to that point, I can say specifically, this was something that happened there. Here's my shot.
Nice. No, I'm very into that. So I did buy the DVD because I won a trivia thing at work. So I got an Amazon gift card and I was like, okay, might as well. The first 2 seasons are on DVD on Amazon for $15. Sure. Why not?
Work.
So I did make some notes while I was opening up the DVD. It was that time where they would have pre-roll trailers and stuff before the you get to the main menu that may or may not be animated. It was that era of DVDs, which I am delighted by. Like, I'm the person that fell asleep to like The Office playing on play all the episodes on one thing, would fall asleep, wake up to like the menu of like the phone ringing in the background.
Oh boy.
That's who I am. Haven't changed that much. I will die on the hill that I do love physical media. So whenever I can pick up, a DVD or a Blu-ray or a book or like a video game, I will absolutely grab it because I've always gravitated toward it.
I'm very with you. We are right now recording at my new apartment where I just moved 2 days ago. And one of the things that I'm very excited to unpack is all of my video games, DVDs, books. I like the physical holding when I read. I like my video games to have the instruction manuals way back when. I've got my amiibo that I have displayed on the windowsill.
Yeah. It's very, it's like, we don't know what streaming is going to be. Like, we don't know that it's always going to be there. Chances are it probably will be, but
they'll lose rights because anytime there's, we can look at the history of video games and how things are so poorly re-released as history for streaming.
It's easier to pirate things sometimes. That's not what we're doing at all. I have the DVD, and the show is on Disney+. Plus.
That's not even what I'm talking about. Like, you physically you literally cannot access some things without piracy, right? Because of some games were done with mergers for companies that may no longer exist, or who knows who has the rights to this one character that was leased by this company, which was then contracted by this other company to produce a game, for example.
Famously, Mother 3.
Yes.
Never been localized, and fans have. In an official capacity, it has never been brought over to the United States. Anyway,
that's also just Nintendo just being not great about that in general.
Yeah, we're very far off topic. So, anyway, the notes I have about the trailers and the DVD, I did want to bring them up just to kind of put this show in a time capsule of like what was airing around the time, like what shows were popular, at least on ABC and like Disney, because like that's what the trailers were for. They're not gonna, put something on CBS. Like, there was no trailer for 2.5 Men with this, thankfully.
Bless.
So the season 1 DVD has trailers for a ton of stuff from its time. There is Grey's Anatomy, Body of Proof, which is a show I have never heard of, the first season of Scandal, a show that I've never watched, but I've heard very good stuff about. Desperate Housewives, the final season. Oh. Another show I have not watched. Revenge, Castle, and then there's a show called The River, and I think Dominic Moynihan or something. Like, there was someone big in it, and I was like, oh, is this Lost? And then no, it's like they're just on a river. I think it was that era of TV where they were like, oh, what's going to be the next Lost? Like, what is going to be the next big thing? I had never heard of The River before, so I think it's probably safe to say that it was not The River.
Now, was that before or after Sopranos and before or after Breaking Bad?
I believe before Breaking Bad, for sure.
Okay.
I believe The Sopranos ended. I want to. For some reason, I keep thinking of The Sopranos as being around like 2005. I don't know if that's anywhere near reality or not.
Okay.
But I would imagine after The Sopranos, definitely before, like possibly during The Sopranos.
Okay.
That's definitely a thing, obviously, without looking it up. Then there was an ad. It was a movie trailer for Frankenweenie. The Tim Burton movie that everyone forgot about, including you. And
yes, absolutely. Oh, wow.
And I mean, I've never seen it. I'm sure it's a very good movie. Like, I mean, it's Tim Burton. It's Disney. Like, it's going to be
probably Helen Bonham Carter.
Catherine O'Hara's in that movie. I know.
Can we watch it?
Possibly at some point.
Anyway.
So in the trailer, I thought it was so funny because it said,
from Tim Burton, director of Alice in Wonderland.
The movie that everyone knows Tim Burton for, Alice in Wonderland. Not anything else. No other movies, no other stop motion animated movies that, like Frankenweenie, were also stop motion animated. No, it was Alice in Wonderland was the...
What was it? He didn't write the script for Nightmare Before Christmas, but it was his concept, I think, and then the script was written by based on that. I don't think he directed it either.
Yeah, it's Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. He did not direct that movie.
Right. So, that might be why they went with that direction?
I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. So then there's also the trailer for the first Avengers movie, which is a different movie series than the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it is now. Like, they very much tried to have it be like it almost had a Mission Impossible vibe to it. And I was like, that's not this movie.
For the Avengers trailer?
Yeah, it's like, you should pull it up. I encourage anyone listening, pull it up. It is not the Marvel Disney machine as we know it, because the Avengers was produced by Paramount. That was before Disney bought Marvel. Right. So they weren't doing the Disney in-house trailer thing that I think they do now.
I mean, I don't remember that because I straight up didn't pay attention. I was part of the target demographic that was like,
you didn't need to be sold.
I knew Marvel. I knew I was going to see it. I was just waiting for it to come out.
No, I totally get that. And then, so along with all of the other trailers, there's also a trailer for the animated movie Tinkerbell Secret of the Wings.
Animated?
Yes.
CGI.
Yes, the CGI Tinkerbell movies.
I don't know. I was just guessing.
Yeah.
That was just shots called.
I think it's like, I honestly, I mean, they're nerds. I'm sure they've thought of this. I'm like, I don't know where it falls, like before or after Peter Pan. I honestly don't know. I'm sure there is an answer somewhere. The trailer looked like the same quality as like the direct-to-DVD Barbie movies, which like those are camp. I do not know if Tinkerbell Secret of the Wings is camp.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we do a bonus episode.
Yes.
I'm sure it's on Disney Plus. And then the last one, which I think is probably the most apt, was the 20th anniversary release of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a incredible movie.
Absolutely. It holds up. I watched it relatively recently.
It's so good.
And Bob Hoskins, amazing actor.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, Jessica Rabbit, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's camp. We love her.
Yes.
Speaking of something that is tangentially related, did you see the trailer for the Rescue Rangers movie?
No, there's a Rescue Rangers movie?
It looks like they're very much trying to do Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I'm not upset about it. We'll probably watch that before we...
I'm excited.
It looks very fun, and it's just on Disney+. Like, it's not a theatrical release, so you can...
Is it just the two of them, or is it the whole cast from the cartoon?
In the trailer, it is only Chip and Dale, but I
want me some Gadget.
I'm sure that Gadget and Monterey Jack are also going to be in... Like, there's no way they're not in the movie. Like,
fantastic.
But Chip and Dale, I don't remember who is who. Actually, no, Dale is... John Mulaney and Chip is Andy Samberg, and I'm pretty excited. It's a good trailer. Good. Also, there's a Detective Pikachu tail and a Jimmy Neutron hair in it, so I think they're really, really going full Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Did they have any kind of a theme song?
I think it's like, you know, that thing where trailers
Okay.
Avengers
Fair.
Ultron, when it's like, oh, no strings. It's like not. It is like a direct to DVD, or it's a direct to Disney Plus, but it is kind of. It's like, okay, a dramatic version of the theme song, which like work, whatever. So anyway, that was the stuff about the DVD. The last thing before we pause, watch the trailer, and then come back, I did look up the Common Sense Media rating for the show, which I thought was worded just so funnily. They rated the show 4 out of 5 stars, saying parents need, and this is a quote, parents need to know that although Once Upon a Time is inspired by classic fairy tales, it's not always age appropriate for younger kids. The content is often violent, including murder, sword fights, and death threats, and much of the story is clouded in a sense of peril and shifting loyalties. There's some implied sexual content, including shirtless men, women buttoning up their blouses, and lovers escaping out of windows. Some innuendo, and some iffy language, and this is a parenthetical with each word with quotations around it. Hell, ass, suck.
So, some iffy language, parentheses, hell ass, suck. Close parentheses.
Yeah.
Work.
Then the upside, it has multi-generational appeal, but parents may want to preview it before sharing with tweens.
With tweens.
Yeah, this is the era of the tweens. But yeah, I just thought, hell, ass, suck. I could not stop laughing when I read that. But anyway, so we're going to pause here. I'm going to show Seth the trailer of the show.
All right.
And we will be back in a moment to react to it. And we're back. We just showed Seth the first 2 trailers. They're kind of like the same trailer, in all honesty, but for the first season.
Bob, I have a question for you. When did Maleficent come out?
Oh, that's a good question. It was definitely after this.
Oh, really? Because I got big Maleficent vibes.
Oh, from the Evil Queen. Yeah,
yes.
She's incredible. I love her. I'm looking up Maleficent. 2014. So it was after this.
Okay.
I particularly love the moment where the Evil Queen says, "We're going somewhere horrible," and the answer is to like Maine, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
It gives me like New Hampshire, very New England.
It is very New England.
Vibes.
Yeah, but it's just like, we're going somewhere horrible, the real world. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's, especially now, I get it. Like,
oh my gosh, yes. Oh,
this was during the Obama years, so politics were bad, but I don't think I don't think everything was as bad as they are now. But yeah, what other impressions did you have from those trailers?
So impressions that I got, I can see things going different than I initially expected because, again, referencing Fables, there was no sleep. Everything was like, ostensibly, they lived their lives back in the 13, 14, 1500s, and they just did not die and are currently living in New York. So they just have these extraordinarily long lives, and part of their character conflicts is having to navigate around the fact that they don't die, and people that they do meet do die. So this, it seems like there is either a big sleep or it's an insular community that has no other non-fairy tale people and just they don't remember, or however that seems to come across.
Stay tuned for that.
Work.
Who do you think that child in the trailer was?
The little boy?
Yeah, the little boy.
I was thinking about that, and I'm deciding on Pinocchio first.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong, but you'll find out.
Cool. We heard the name Rumpelstiltskin first thing right away.
Yes, so I mean, obviously, it's not just fairy tales that have been adapted to Disney movies. It's a much wider swath.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he plays both sides Emily Swan is the young ingenue, joins the cast, and I guess is now part of the community based on the prophecy that's foretold when the evil queen / witch casts the curse.
Do you, I mean, I feel like they were kind of obvious about it. Do you know who she is?
Based on that and what you said, the daughter of Snow White and her Prince Charming.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, like, they said 28 years later, your daughter is going to come back, so this must be her, Emma Swan. Emma, not Emily. I keep wanting to say Emily Swan, but it's not. It's Emma Swan.
That's one of the things that's like, it's revealed so early. I'm just going to tell you, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Like, literally before the first commercial break, it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly who she is.
I mean, there were a lot of things besides what you just said. It's like the apple juice is going to be an analog for the apple. So even if it's not poisoned, I assume it's something you're supposed to be anxious about.
She has, the evil queen, in her house in Maine, a lot of paintings of apples, if I remember right. I mean, she likes a theme.
I mean, work. Design.
Trying to think what other... did you... any of the other
wolf,
characters...
I'm assuming, is going to be the big bad wolf.
Stay tuned on that. Yeah, what about the other characters? Like, I know there were a few... any of those that you want to make a called shot on?
All right.
Like, who they were?
They kept showing, or both trailers showed the bright blue jay. So that's going to be a thing.
Okay.
And I can't think of any fairy tales that involve specifically a blue jay. So I'm not sure if that is supposed to be more of just recognize something that shade of blue.
I mean, I'm
not looking at you for anything, but
I will say specifically, I've seen the trailers a few times. It's very clearly like a parakeet that they like green screened blue. It's not a bluebird,
but it's supposed to be. And between that and the bright blue butterfly of a similar, not quite the same shade.
Mm-hmm. I will say this is. I'll say this since the butterfly, I have no idea why the butterfly is there. That is, from my memory, not a thing that comes back. So I think that might have just been like an early...
take the pin out of that one.
Yeah, it's very like, that title screen is not the title screen for the show. Like, it was very like, I think they hadn't settled on what they wanted completely. So it was very like early. I love in the first trailer where it's like, from... boom, the boom, writers of Lost. And it's like, if you didn't know, if you like Lost, you'll probably like this show. Please watch this show.
I was expecting something that was more like CW, something that was very, these people are super attractive and the drama is the drama. Like that one memeable scene of, I think it's One Tree Hill, where the guy's in the hospital.
The dog.
The person is carrying a heart in a cooler, trips on a cable, spilling the heart on the floor, and the dog eats it. That was the kind of drama I'm expecting.
And then the character, like the one guy looks up and is like, oh, oops. And that's supposed to be a drama, apparently, too. If I remember right, there are some moments that are pretty in that vein, because like you got to remember, there's the real world where these are fairy tale, like they're famous like fairy tale, like everyone knows. Mm-hmm. Who was there was a guy who was ringing a big bell. Who is your called shot for who that is?
Quasimodo. I mean, it's
a good guess.
If you're ringing a bell, it's got to be Quasimodo.
Good guess. But yeah, any other impressions about the trailer or anything like that?
Let's see. We just watched it, so it's like you'd think I'd be able to remember more. There was obvious big black versus white kind of
like
storytelling.
Morality.
No, just like visual storytelling. The colors that people wear. Like Emma was wearing white and red when she walks in, so that's maybe I'm reading too much into it, but she's wearing white, Snow White, lips of red. She doesn't have the hair of Raven, but
it's all fair game. Because like I said, this is like season 1 is like really solid from my memory.
okay.
It does some really interesting stuff. And I mean, like, you'll get to this when we watch it. A lot of the things that they do that I really like is I think they do a really good job of subverting expectations.
Okay.
Like, you may think, oh, like, I know how this fairy tale goes. They do something like interesting and different. So it's not just like, okay, I'm watching Snow White. Like, I've seen saw the Disney movie. Like, it's not just that, at least in the first 2 seasons.
Is it to the point of you expect them to subvert, so therefore you can predict based on that? Or is it they don't always subvert?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix. I know I've read interviews like with the writers and stuff, and they were very, very aware of like, we know a lot of people know these stories already, so we want to give them something new, like something that might surprise them or something that might be unexpected. And I think they do a good job of like keeping the themes of a lot of these, the fairy tales the same. Yeah, and I don't want to be too much more specific, just because I don't want to spoil the show for you.
Okay.
But yeah, so I did want to the last thing I wanted to do. Can you give me like 3 or 4 called shots of things that you think might happen, characters you think that might pop up, anything? And like, just knowing that Disney Plus marks this show as a soap opera, and in hindsight, that is very on point.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Prince Charming is the same Prince Charming for every iteration. Like Cinderella, Aurora.
Oh, okay.
All
the same guy.
White, same guy. That's
Just
how it was in Fables too.
Oh,
it was
okay.
There is one Prince Charming, and he is called Prince Charming because he is the same person. He is only a different person where named otherwise.
Got it. Interesting. Okay.
So you have like in Fables, you'll have Cinderella, Snow White, and Aurora will meet up every so often and just complain about about their ex, their mutual shared ex.
Interesting. Okay, that's a cool shot. I'm not going to tell if it's right or not, but
so that is going to be one of them, based on soap opera. But like, it looks like it is more like fantasy based with all the curse and everything. Let's see. Do we see things that are Disney that are not like specifically fairy tales?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's if it is a Disney movie, and this is it's Disney, there is a fair chance that it might pop up. So it's not completely beholden to just the fairy tales, but at the same time, a lot of the movies Disney makes are fairy tales.
Okay. Then I'm going to call a shot that I know will not happen, but I want it to happen.
Okay.
Dark Cauldron reference.
Dark Cauldron reference.
Dark Cauldron, I want it.
I've never seen Dark Cauldron.
So many people haven't.
I know.
We should do it at some
problem.
point.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the problem with that was that it just wasn't marketed well.
It was, yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. I don't even know if I know the answer to that off the top of my head, just because I don't know Dark Cauldron very well. I would not be shocked if there was a reference.
It was so... Sorry. It was such a bomb that Disney has since been trying to forget it. Mm-hmm. So it will not happen. I am absolutely sure that it will not happen, but would love to see it.
Solid. Give me one more that is wildest thing you could possibly think of that you could imagine happening.
I got it. Okay. Wildest thing. Rapunzel hair, actually plants. That's all the shrubberies.
So you're the call you're taking is that Rapunzel's hair is the plants in the town.
Always growing.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna tell you if you're right or wrong. I think that's a good call.
Probably something that would be more reasonable and probably add a little bit more drama fun is that the big bad wolf and beast are the same. Like shape-shifting werewolf kind of thing.
Interesting. You're onto something.
Oh my god, don't say that.
I know. I'm not going to tell you what. You are onto something.
That's hilarious.
But that's I'm not going to give you any specifics. I think that's a good collection of called shots.
Cool.
So thank you for listening. A few of the things that we are going to do, once we start in earnest going through the show, I have a couple segments. We are going to be keeping track of family trees and relationship trees because it's soap opera.
Very, very meme of the cobweb of connected pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will be posting those on our social media. As we get to them, we'll probably be releasing one per episode just as things are announced or revealed, stuff like that. So definitely follow our social media. We are Not Even Once Pod on Twitter. We are Not Even Once Pod on Instagram. And if you go to either of those, you'll be able to see a link tree that goes to our social media and also goes to our show page. So we will have more information about that. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for making it all the way through. Like Seth said, we are recording in a place that is not our final recording place, probably. So thank you for dealing with the sound quality. I don't know how it sounds until I edit it, but we'll find out.
If you want to follow us directly without following the link tree, you can follow me on Twitter at Recycled Sarcasm.
And you can follow me on Twitter at The Kid Ain't Right. I was going for like a King of the Hill thing, but thought it was kid instead of boy. Because Bobby, that's...
you can change that.
I don't know if I can. I'll figure it out. I don't know. It's there. But anyway, thank you again so much for listening. We're definitely excited to get some stuff going. This episode is probably going to drop on our feed, and then we'll have the next time we drop some episodes, there'll probably be like 2 to 4 of them, just so there's a little bit of a backlog. But we will see you soon, and we're excited to go through the show with you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Have a good day.